contributions are clear and considerable, they are too modest to appreciate what they do. It was actually quite funny when I asked each one of them to be honored this year. First I called Tzippi. Tzippi felt she was not deserving. But when I mentioned Tzipporah, she thought that Tzipporah clearly deserved the recognition. Then I spoke to Tzipporah, who, like Tzippi, declared herself completely undeserving, but unlike Tzippi, felt that Tzippi obviously deserved to be honored. It was 2 ridiculous back-to-back phone calls. It was not easy to get them here as our honorees today, but I'm so glad that they agreed to give us the opportunity to thank them for all that they do for our school. Thank you both so much for always being so very capable, but also so very enjoyable to work with. I am so grateful to you both. Before we get on with our formal mission of honoring both Tzippi and Tzipporah, I would like to thank Naomi Abramovitz for overseeing this beautiful event yet again. Though juggling many responsibilities, especially at this very crazy time of year, she readily agreed, yet again, to plan this luncheon, and it's always a relief knowing that she's in charge. Naomi took care of the details of the brunch, so please be sure to thank her for her successful efforts.
Welcome. Here we are, back again for another year. Very exciting. Thanks everyone for coming and supporting our fantastic PTA and our fantastic honorees. And I guess I just want to start by saying, I don't know about you, but it has been an entire 3 days since Thursday that I've indulged in a mega-calorie, salmon, lactose, festival of food. So I just want to say to myself, thank God on the timing for this, for this event. Because, kale, tofu? I'm not ready. So we had Shabbat, and we have today, and tomorrow, we'll ease into it. So there's a lot of leftovers. Just stop by the teacher's lounge for that, if you don't want to go right back to your healthy eating plan. Secondly, what does everyone think of our change of venue this year? Are we not warm and fuzzy, right? Not a knock against JARC, but this is pretty swanky. We are moving on up to the east side, right? To a deluxe apartment in the sky. Truer words were never spoken. Now next year I've got my eye on this luxury condo development over here. It's white, it's sparkling, it's gargantuan. I think it might be the Hyatt Regency Boca. So I'm gonna try and get in there. And can you explain why there is a bird theme? What's the tie-in? To Tzipporahs, very good. And who can say where the bird theme first made its appearance in this luncheon planning event? Who said the invitation? Oh, of course, Dina Lurie, invitation queen. Oh, okay. Phyllis, sorry, right. Dina is an invitation queen though, absolutely, 100%. All right, well the winners there can take home the twigs and the birds, whoever answered correctly, unless they are totally creeping you out, in which case you can take a napkin, we have extras on the table, and just cover it, and I'm so sorry, and you just don't have to look at it anymore, but we thought it was, super cute. Anyway, I was so excited when the 2 Tzipporahs were chosen as honorees, not only because they so richly deserve it, but because of the thematic possibilities that lit up in my little brain. TNT. What a dynamite theme that would have been, huh? Or TR and TR, Total Recall, Top Rated. I don't know, something would have occurred to me. But upon further inspection of our very own PTA Board of Directors list, it came to light that at birth, these ladies' parents had purposely thwarted my thematic plans by naming one Tzipporah with a T and one Tzipporah with a Z. T and Z? Now what am I supposed to do with that? For the days of Susan and Suzanne, SNS, when I could mystify Rabbi Englander with the saucy implications of switching one S to an M. I had to get a little more mileage out of that one. Or Maya and Moish, when I didn't even have to pay to personalize the M&Ms. They just came that way. So the search for a theme continued. True, I could have gone with R&R with R&R. Rinsberg, Rosen. What are the odds? But it just sounded like, the overhead greeting at the entrance to some like Chevy Chase vacation-esque 55-plus trailer park in Davie or like Waxahachie, wherever that is. So no, I can't do that. And then the light broke through the clouds. The light bulb poised next to my head went on. Birds! Tzipora, of course. But what kind of birds? Angry birds. Angry birds? Well, it's easy to get paper goods for that one at Party City, but that is definitely how rumors get started. Like, girl, it is Angry Birds because those two actually hate each other. So no. Or lovebirds. Plenty of Google images on lovebirds, but I was like, oh no, those are not the kind of rumors we want to get started. Although in the immortal words of Jerry Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that. How about Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds? Nope. Too much terror, mortal injury, etc. to make a good luncheon theme. So I ran through a lot of options. Birds of a feather flock together. Early bird gets the worm. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Nah, too preachy. Flip someone the bird. Naked as a jaybird. The birds and the bees. Kill two birds with one stone. Nope. Too Game of Thrones. No. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree? No, that's the wrong religion. No. Snowbirds? No, too annoying. A little bird told me? No, that sounds like we're promoting gossip. Which, if anyone has any new gossip, it'll be between us, and no one will know. So next, I scoured the internet for Torah quotes about birds. I bypassed the numerous references to birds of prey, dead birds, and laws of kashrut. It didn't flow. But I did finally find what I was looking for to properly celebrate our own 2 tziporas and therefore serve as our theme. So from the Stone translation in Tehillim chapter 84, Pasuk Daled, quote, "Even the bird finds its home, and the free bird her nest where she laid her young. Oh, to be at your altars, Hashem, master of legions, my king and my God." The Stone footnote, because I wasn't quite sure how that worked, but I just knew it did. The Stone footnote, citing Rav Hirsch, says this means that, quote, "A bird will unerringly seek its nest where it has nurtured the most precious treasures of its life. And so too the exiled Jew yearns to return to God's service." Perfect. Our own 2 tziporas have found their homes right here in our school community and have placed their own most precious treasures, getting verklempt, at KHDS for nurturing. Considering the deep commitment that these 2 women have to, quote-unquote, return to God's service every single day in their daily observant lives, it's not surprising that they also do so by returning to our PTA nest again and again to give and give of their energy and time. You could almost say, except I just said that we wouldn't say it, but I'm just going to say it, that they're killing 2 birds with one stone by working so diligently for our PTA. 1, they're nurturing their own chicks, and 2, they're serving Hashem in the bargain. So there was more, because, more is better, I guess, but it worked. Secondly, also, thank you to Rabbi Stone, or Mr. Stone, in Isaiah chapter 31, Pasuk K, quote, "Like flying birds, so will Hashem, master of legions, protect Jerusalem, protecting and rescuing, passing over and delivering." This time, thankfully, there was also a footnote. The footnote quotes the Radak to explain that this means that, quote, "like birds appearing from nowhere, so will God's help arrive suddenly." While even these great gals can't compare to Hashem, sorry, there are limits, but they most certainly can be counted on to appear out of nowhere and provide much needed help. When a request for help is made via email or at a meeting, while everyone is busy seriously studying their phones and crafting elaborate, Talmudic responses as why they just can't, these 2, no fuss, no muss, chirping like little birds, always happily, "Sure, I'll do it, no problem," and then they really just do it. So that is completely unique and life-saving at times. So let's get to know our first Tzipora with a Z, Mrs. Tzipora Rinsberg. Tzipora was born in the frozen tundra of Duluth, Minnesota. Now I know it's cold because I spent summers in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, just across Lake Superior from there. And even in August, an 80-degree temperature report from the weather people generates frantic reports of a heat wave and dire warnings to stay hydrated. But that's where she started. Her parents promptly fled to a much warmer environment of Atlanta, Georgia, where she grew up the third of 4 girls. Tzipporah's dad, we just salute you for surviving those teen years.
Wow, I was compared to guacamole. This is the moment. Very nice. And our next Tzipporah, who's probably like, oh Lord, have mercy, Mrs. Tzippi Rosen. Tzippi was born in slightly less frigid and snowy than Duluth, Rochester, New York. Her family also made their way from Rochester south, but they only got as far as Randolph, New Jersey, and then Queens, New York. Tzippi, like Tzipporah, was also the third child of 4, but mercifully for Tzippi's parents, she has 2 brothers and 1 sister. It was not just a house full of like crinolines and whatnot. Tzippi says she has fond memories of hanging out with her family every Sunday at the Rochester JCC. Now, I don't know about you, but I heard that the absolute cutest boys hung out at that Rochester JCC back in the day. So she says she's whitewashing it and hanging out with her family. Right. Anywho, Tzippi was outrageously adventuresome at a very young age. She went to Israel for 9th grade. Like, when we met, like, would you let your, right? Like, okay, bye, Ruth, have fun, call me, whatever. Amazingly brave. And then to YU Central in Queen, where she was like a foreign exchange student. And she lived with the family in Queens because of her distance from home. So, like, I was wondering, was there a language barrier? It was tough, right? Anyway, I'm sure it was a meaningful cultural exchange, with people. Tzippi earned her bachelor's degree from Queens College. It seems like she really became addicted to living in Queens. She just loved it there. Then she earned a master's of social work from YU's, I'm going to butcher this, Wurzweiler School of Social Work. And a lifetime of doing more for others was underway. The most worthy but demanding recipients of her endless energy are her 3 beloved children. Rebecca, 17. Hey, how was the SAT this morning? Is it good? Oh, hey, no, not to put you on the spot. What are you looking at for college? Did you put in the application set? Are you going to do your essay over the year? What kind of AP classes are you taking? Okay, well, whatever. They love that. They absolutely love that. Michael, 14, and Jennifer, blissfully far from all that college craziness, is 11. But somehow, she has also made the time to put her training to good use by working for Yachad for more than 10 years, and is now working full-time as the Special Needs Coordinator at the Ruth and Norman Rails Jewish Family Service, a job she often raves about. I mean, listen, I could stop right here, and this woman would be deserving of honor. I think we'd all agree. But I'll go on, because there's more. While in longtime service to our PTA, Tzippi can be counted on every year to chair the Birthday Book Club project, organize and orchestrate the summer and school year book orders, and she makes sure our teachers get free massages during Teacher Appreciation Week, which they really appreciate. Tzippi also has coordinated the design, acquisition, and distribution of they kind of peel, but they're still good. We need a new distributor. The KHDS car magnets. They're a little peely, yeah. Anyway, and the license plate holders, that's for another day. All the while, never failing to help at numerous Hanukkah fairs, uniform sales, and book fairs, just pretty much like wherever she's needed. Tzippi admits to spending any remaining free time, which is like 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., I think, Mondays and Wednesdays. I think you have that free, right? So in that time, she does needlepoint, and she confesses to a phobia of snakes. So Florida was not great, but here you are, too late. Without further ado, I present this award to someone who I've been in awe of since the day I met her years ago. This is Tzippi Rosen.
Not one for speaking in public, but I want to thank you, excuse me, for this honor. I feel silly being honored for something that I really enjoy doing and being a part of. PTA, being a part of the PTA is being part of a well-oiled machine. Sharona is amazing, and always has great ideas that we all who are on it, which is a great group of ladies, we love to be a part of and really get the projects going. And it's a way to give back. It's giving back to the school that has and is continuing to educate my children, and it's an integral part of my family life. So thank you. I want to thank Sharona for inviting me to be on the board many years ago, and giving me the opportunity to do these great things that I love to do. Thank you, Naomi, Deborah, and everyone else for this beautiful luncheon. And I just want to thank just a few. I want to thank my mother and Jay for coming down from New York. My aunt. I have 3 aunts here and my cousin for joining us. Fanny coming from Boynton, and all my friends and everyone for joining us. I really appreciate it. Mazel tov Tzipora. It's lovely being honored with someone with a great name. And of course, Adam and the kids for always dealing with me running and doing something PTA related or otherwise. And right now my house is filled with books. For the books I have to give out, of course, the last day of school as always. But thank you very much.
And I'm also really pleased that you're here to honor somebody who doesn't even know that they're being honored. So how much fun is that? From time to time, we like to, keep things like a little crazy, wild and crazy. Okay, so from time to time, PTA chooses to surprise an exceptional person with a surprise award. This year, PTA has the privilege of recognizing the remarkable efforts of one individual who works tirelessly on behalf of PTA and Katz Hillel Day School. Because this individual works behind the scenes, few of us, perhaps none of us, actually know just how essential his or her efforts are. So funny because a person has no idea it's coming. I am, of course, speaking about Joe Sharp. No matter when one contacts Joe, he will reply quickly and politely. I dare you, I email him 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:02, you get an answer. It is unbelievable, he never sleeps. It's true, everybody will attest to it. If he doesn't have the answer immediately, he will find out what needs to be done, and he will take care of it. I know few people who are as helpful, responsible, and capable as our Joe. But perhaps most importantly, Joe handles every situation and every responsibility with such tremendous chayim. Joe is the quintessential mensch, treating everyone he meets with respect and warmth. Joe, on behalf of PTA, please know that we do recognize and we do appreciate all that you do for PTA, for our school, and for our students, our staff, our parents, and our wider community. We are so fortunate to have you on our team. We have made for you a plaque which states, because she loves to wrap things. She's very good at wrapping things, which says, when you open it, it will say, presented to Joe Sharp in appreciation of your dedication, patience, meticulous attention to detail, and consistent willingness to go above and beyond on behalf of our PTA. We are so grateful to have a person of such sterling character and superb ability at the financial helm. The PTA of Katz Hillel Day School of Boca Raton, June 4th, 2017. Joe, please come on up.
There is literally so much food, but could it be any other way, right? You can't have almost no food left. You have to have a ridiculous amount of food left that you feel sick and ill and embarrassed and really, and that's a success. So please eat more food. Thank you.